Hello everybody, Annwyn Avalon here, your friendly neighborhood water priestess and witch. I had a question in my inbox this past week, actually last week, I'm behind, about my courses. What's the difference between them? And instead of writing everything out because it'll be long and tedious, I decided to make a video and let you know what I'm teaching, where I'm teaching, and how those courses kind of go forth. So I'll start with the smaller stuff. If you are local to Portland, I teach classes around Portland. Currently, I have a sacred dance coming up in January at Sonama Studio. I also have a couple yoga classes that I'll be teaching coming up as well, probably around Oregon City. And I often teach classes at Raven's Wing, which is a metaphysical / witchy shop in Selwood. I don't currently have anything on the books right now, but I do have plans to possibly teach there again. Now, if you are not local to Portland, don't worry, because I have quite a bit of classes for you as well. So the first thing that I've been doing, which is new, is Tuesday night classes. So Tuesday nights are a really good night for me because my kiddo is at his Kung Fu Wushu martial arts practice. And so I'm able to have a nice quiet house to myself, except for the dogs, of course. And I've been offering classes somewhere between 6:30 and 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes they go 7 to 8:30, sometimes it's 6:30 to 8. You just have to double check, but they've been on Tuesdays. There's a small possibility that there will also be stuff, or I may alternate between Tuesdays and Thursdays, but currently those are the best days for online classes. They are affordable, first off. Second off, they are done on Zoom online, and so you do not have to have any platform. You don't have to have Google Hangouts or Skype or anything like that. All you have to do is the ability to click the actual link, and then you can just watch the class. You can participate if you want, or you can just be on silent and listen to the whole thing. I have also successfully recorded one of them, and so if you are not able to make one of those classes, there's a good possibility that you'll be able to watch it later. I had a student actually last night that couldn't make it because she had a migraine, and so I figured out how to record it, and yay, technology! I know technology. Woohoo! Technology and me, sometimes we just are not friends, like, oof. But yeah, so I was able to record it, and I'll actually hopefully be getting that uploaded and sent to her later today. Okay, so that's what is as far as live classes. Of course, I also have my live streams Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and you can ask me questions there, and I'm happy to talk about them. I usually just talk about or rant about whatever's bothering me. So, okay, now let's talk about, I pulled this up on my phone here so that we had all the right information. Okay, so on the waterwitchcraft.com page, you log in, you go through, you enter the site, and you can click on Learn Water Magic. And that will bring up Secrets from the Sacred Well, Working with Water Spirits, Water Magic 9-month course, Mentoring, and the Protection Magic class, which went last night. I just have to take it down. But it will be a weekly class, would be at the very bottom. I don't know what we're teaching next. It might be circle casting. It might be astral travel. I don't know. Feel free to send me messages in my email. Hey, would you teach a class on this? Because the answer might actually be, yeah, actually that's a great idea. So let me go through these, I guess, from the shortest to the longest. So Protection Magic class, we've talked about that. Those are the Tuesday classes. We did Shadow we did shadow magic, and we did protection magic, and we'll see what comes up next. Then there's also mentoring. If you're interested in just one-on-one classes or sessions with me, that is where you would go, would be into the mentoring section. The next one is working with water spirits. It is a, I want to say, it's a 90-minute class, pre-recorded class. I thought it was almost 2 hours, but it's about 90 minutes. And it's a pre-recorded class, lecture style, that you can take on your own. And you receive an email, and then you can just follow the link to get to the class, and then you can listen to the lecture. And it is in a lecture style. So that's one. The other, side note, I will also be teaching at PentheaCon in 2020 in northern-ish California, not super northern, San Jose. It's at the DoubleTree Hilton Resort or Hotel at the San Jose Airport. It's a huge pagan convention, anywhere from 2,000, it's roughly 2,000 people. Sometimes it's 1,800, sometimes it's closer to 3,000, but we basically fill up the hotel and we take over. So I will be teaching water magic there. I'm really excited about that. It'll be on Sunday. I may also have another class not on the official schedule, but on one of the suite schedules, but I'm still working to hear about that. But I will be there, probably doing lots of different things, taking my own classes, book signings, perhaps a couple oracle readings, we'll see. Okay, so I got sidetracked. Here we go, going back to this one. Okay, so the next one then would be Secrets from the Sacred Well. Now, Secrets from the Sacred Well is only going to be open through the end of this month. When I recorded this class, it was several years ago, and the audio recording was like okay back then, but as technology has progressively gotten better, I've noticed when I listen to them that there's like some static in the background, and I don't quite know how to clean it up. And so I thought that the best thing to do, especially with technology progressing, in 5 years, it might be super grainy sounding. And so I've decided to go ahead and pull back on that class and stop offering it in this particular format. So Secrets from the Sacred Well is a 6-week class. You get, after you register and I get you all set up for it, you receive an email every Monday, each one containing a lecture that's anywhere from 30 minutes to almost 2 hours, depending on the lecture. You also get, let's see, what do I say here? We talk about sacred wells and holy water sites, water creatures, lots of water fairies, and mermaids, of course. You also do a little bit of scrying, and you have some ritual to take care of, or to do, to process through. So the first week you get your introduction and your water blessing instructions. And so you get a YouTube video that is, again, lecture style, with PowerPoint presentation as the screen, and then you get a lesson companion that pulls from the lecture itself and kind of invites you to do some of the hands-on experiences that we had talked about in the lecture. Week 2 is Morgan Le Fay, and we talk about the moon, waters, and tides. Week 3 is Melusine, the Fountain Fairy, sacred bathing and starting your own Book of Shadows or Book of Tides. Week 4 are Dark Moon Rites and Scrying. Week 5 is Sulis, spells and charms associated with sacred wells, as well as finding balance in a world on fire. And then the last one is the Lady of Llyn Fanfach, healing rites associated with sacred wells and tending your own sacred well. So each week you get your email that has your really long lecture video, and it has your lesson companion. And there is a Facebook group if you wanted to join it. It's been kind of inactive though. Facebook groups have kind of, I don't know, they've been going like this lately, right? Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. If you're interested in this class, but you're not quite sure, go to the page and scroll all the way down. I'm showing you on my phone here. There's a video and there's an actual teaser in there that you can watch. And so it gives you the format. It gives you what we're going to be talking about, and it goes quite in depth. Also, you can just watch the video and learn a little bit, because I do talk about some really cool stuff in there. The next class, and this is mainly what the question was about, what's the difference between Water Priestess and the Water Magic 9-month course? And let me pull this one up. Okay, so here we go. The 9-month course is pretty much a master's course. I believe that this year is going to be the last year I'm going to offer it in this format. I am still going to offer a 9-month course, but instead of calling it Water Magic, I think in 2021, I will be restructuring it as a master class. It is still a master class the way it is right now. With this one, you work monthly basis. 9 different lessons. For example, one lesson is about the size of 2 chapters of a book. Well, it depends on the lesson. So the lessons do vary. There are shorter lessons, maybe 14 pages, and then there's longer lessons that go all the way up to like 20 pages. And I did a word count on one of the lessons. I can't remember which one it was, but it came in at 9,000 words. Which is roughly the size of 2 chapters of a regular book. So that's just one lesson. So you get 9 of those. Each of those lessons has a short 10 to 30 minute bonus video that was added this year. With this, you also get 9 mentorship sessions. So you automatically get, you're supposed to send in your homework with this one, like a written homework. And I prefer to do one-on-one video chats with people, because I can give a lot more information this way, but you have the option to have me do a written review and send it to you as well. Okay, let's see, what do we go through in this one? A lot of folklore. That's one of the main differences with the Water Priestess course. With the Water Priestess course, we don't go into any folklore really at all. We go into the practical application of some of these things. We talk about sea magic. We talk about seaweed, correspondences, tons and tons of different spirits, lake ladies, fae, mermaids. We talk about rivers, lakes, oceans. There's so much. And then one of the things with this course that's different from the Water Priestess course is you get a box of supplies. And so you get 7 vials, 7 like test tube vials, like this. And they are filled with bath salts prepared by me, and they correspond to your sacred bath in the lesson. And then you also get 3 stones, 3 shells, a mirror, and I'm sure there's a couple other things that I'm forgetting. So you get a big box of supplies, and what you're supposed to do with those is there's actual exercises that's like, take this shell and make this particular thing. There's a lot of homework. Most people don't complete the course in 9 months because there is so much information. And I have had a few people just not complete the course because it was overwhelming, which is why I wanted to turn it into a bit of a master's course. So if you're interested in really being kind of a master in these particular in water magic, like, this is the course. We also go into Avalonian priestess arts. So I introduce you to the Isle of Avalon. So also here, it also tells you on the website, these are some of the things that we explore. So ritual baths. So not only will you take the baths with the vials of salt that I'm giving to you in the packet, but you also, like, there's one bath that you have to go get rose petals and go bathe with them. There's a bath with Aphrodite that kind of encourages you to use apple slices. So you do have some like fresh ingredients that you want to put in. You'll connect with water, like a local body of water. And I have a very specific ritual for you. You go out and you work with it, you come back, you work at home, you go back. We also talk about water altars, shrines, lots of water rituals. I give a lot of information on water deities and spirits, water folklore, magic, sea water witch garden. You craft a lot of potions, elixirs, and gem waters. So by the time that you're done, if you do everything in the course, you have like a really big arsenal to put into your witch's cupboard of, you're going to have a celestite, angelic water, you have an amethyst water, you have a blue lace agate water. You learn how to make sacred water with salt, with stone, with all sorts of different things. So you'll actually have a lot to actually put in your witch's cabinet. We also talk about sacred vessels, lots of different types of water, and how to use those. You do a lot of healing. There's a whole section where you set up a healing water altar specifically for the energies of healing. You will begin to learn divination, or you will refine your own divination skills through the art of bone casting, or sea bone casting is what I like to call them. The technique is based off of multiple cultures across the world who throw bones and who read the signs of the sea or the signs of nature. There's actually 2 sea witches within the UK history that actually talk about these types of divination and how they actually did divination with stones and shells and stuff like that on the seashore. I'm not going to tell you though. You have to take the course to learn more. Tides. You learn about the tides. That's a hard one. Mirror magic, of course. Avalon, water witch, and water priestess practices, and so much more. I mean, that's just like a little sprinkling of information. When I say in the listing that this lesson is full of information on water magic, I really mean it. Each lesson has 3 different written out sections. The first one is your folklore and mythology, and this is where you learn all the history, all the folklore, all of the things that I've gathered over the years that I found that a witch was doing in the 1800s or was recorded in 1915. Also things with lots of mermaids, lots of folk stories about mermaids and selkies and all sorts of creatures, spirit creatures. Then you move into working with water, and that's where your some of your supplies come in, because you'll either be venturing out to visit a body of water or work with a body of water, or you'll be using some of your supplies to create sacred waters. And then in the final section is your practical application, where we take everything that we've learned from section 1 and section 2 and we apply it into practical application. So if that particular month we're learning about sea magic and the mermaids, so there's an entire month on mermaids, and so for that particular lesson, during the practical application section, you take a bath specifically to connect with the energies of the merfolk, and it has seaweed in it. So you take a delicious seaweed bath, good for the skin, good for the body, and you connect with the mermaid energy. Just for an example. So each lesson has at least 3 exercises that you should complete, and some of them have a lot more. We even talk about spirit houses and how to build those, charms, talismans. All right, let's see. Anything else? Okay, I think that's it. Oh, here we go. What do you get for the price? So 9 individual lessons delivered electronically, 1 full moon bath, 1 lavender and rose bath. Also, if you have, I had a student a couple years ago that gets migraines from lavender, and so if that's like a problem for you, just reach out and let me know. I redid the bath for her with rosemary, rosemary and rose, and she really loved it. So I can definitely make alterations for you if you have a problem with the herbs that are in there. You also get the celestite, the blue agate, the amethyst, a vial of herbs, 3 shells, 1 mirror, and the seaweed bath that we talked about. You get a vial of Avalonian tea, 1 black vial of bath salts for your October lesson, which is working with the nocturnal energies of the water. And you get 9 one-on-one 30-minute, which I always go over, but you get 9 one-on-one videos like this where we get to chat about your lesson. You get to ask questions. I can give you ideas, examples, variations on something that you might be having a hard time with. And then you also get a pack of seeds, and the seeds is for the last lesson, and it basically is an exercise where you use sacred water and you kind of tend to these things all winter and plant the seeds again for your next cycle in your own practice. And then there's oh look, I forgot I have 2 testimonials on the site. I always forget that they're there. And I am offering a partial scholarship for 2 people this year. Has to be partial because I do have to cover my supply cost, and the shipping cost to get the supplies out to you. It is international course if you're interested. Shipping's a little bit more for like Australia and overseas, because the boxes tend to be $30 just to ship, so I ask for a teensy bit more in shipping for that particular course. So really, you get a ton. You are immersed in this program for 9 months, and you will be taking regular sacred baths. You will be regularly meditating. There's lots of work for you to do. So even if you think that, I don't know if I've got time for 9 months, the work comes in the PDF form, and so you can print it out, put it in a big binder if you like, and use it as a book of shadows, and use it to reference later on in 10 years from now. That's the bonus thing about having the written text, is you can literally print it out, put it in a binder, forget about it for 10 years, find it, and then rework the entire program by yourself. With digital material, it tends to disappear on our computers or get forgotten. So that is the 9-month water magic course. Now, the main question that I got asked is, what's the difference between that one and the water priestess training? So the water priestess training is different in this. There's no written material at all. It's only video and journal prompt questions. When I finished the first book, I took a little bit of time to myself. I stepped back, and during that time I was really meditating and contemplating and focusing my energy on my work, my water work. And something that hit me was that one of the things that I've been ranting about a lot lately is that spirituality isn't just for the rich. And I thought, well, what if there's an amazing water priestess who's just getting started? She maybe needs help, guidance on how to tend the sacred water in her neighborhood, and she just doesn't have the cash to pay me. And so it really hit me that by charging for water priestess training, at least a foundational level, that I was kind of acting as a gatekeeper only for those that were financially able to pay. And I really don't think that Mother Gaia, this planet, cares whether or not I get paid. It cares whether or not the planet is being saved. And if this was going to be part of my great work, I had to make it readily available to other people. And so I decided I was going to offer Water Priestess Training, Course 1, foundational level, for free. And so after I decided that, I thought, well, what the heck am I going to offer for free? What are the essential bare bone things that somebody needs to have? What tools do they need to have in their witch's basket to be able to do this work? And so I sat down with that, and I realized that there were a couple foundational things that you don't need to pay me for, and that not only would help you to start your practice, but would actually in turn then help the environment. And that's how the Water Priestess course was born. So let's take a look at that real quick. And here we go. So the Well Maiden is the first course. It is a 9-week course for each section. So the Well Maiden is the intro course on water magic, and it's free. And so what we do is this particular thing, it consists of 3 lessons, each lesson having 3 videos. So 9 videos, okay? Each lesson building on the other. So in section 1, the Well Maiden basically focuses on connecting with water, learning how to awaken water and to create your shrines and altars, daily rituals so that you can begin connecting with the water on a daily basis. Sacred adornment, that's something that I actually have not taught or talked about before in my other classes, was sacred adornment. And so that's something that's very, very important. I've got this like really funky shadow that when I do this, look, it looks like I have like angry eyebrows. That's why I keep like shuffling it around, because I'm not trying to look mean, but the way that the shadow is is kind of funny. Okay, I got sidetracked. So in lesson 1, you get your introduction. Then you get a video about how to choose a sacred vessel and how to sacred adorn. And I have set up a temple in my house, a temporary temple in my house, and I sit in this temple and I talk to you and tell you all about my own process for the sacred adornment. I show you a couple of my favorite pieces, why I chose them and what they mean to me. And then I have questions for you to journal for the second week about what did you like in these videos, what didn't you like in these videos. And then in the third week, we all kind of collect our thoughts and chat with them in the Facebook group. So then we move on to lesson 2, which happens on week 4. And that one is how to set up a water shrine. It also includes how to consecrate the shrine so that you have a place to work and that you have a sacred space. Also, how to create a variety of different sacred waters. I give you a variety from hagstones and salt to crystals and even plants, I believe. And so I talk about that. And then again, you have journal questions. Which ones did you like? Which ones don't you like? Which ones do you think that you'll use? How can you use them? And then we go into daily rituals, which are again, very simple rituals of connecting with the water on a daily basis. Then and we do the same process again. You watch the videos during week 4, during week 5, you journal, during week 6, you share with the group. So then in week 7, you then attune to water, and I give you a way of basically attuning your energy to the water so that you can use it, and then you can also help other people to use it. We're also on site with water healing and blessing, and so I go through a process of how I did this, and here's how I'm doing it. And then the last thing is offerings and cleansing the water. Then we go, and these courses are not released yet, so that's the Well Maiden, and that's level 1, and it will always be free. I think that if I can help people find their sacred adornment so that they can help to vibrate in a higher manner and to really embody the priestess work that they're doing, that's really important. Finding a sacred vessel to do your work, blessing the waters. We need everybody blessing the waters, and you certainly don't need to pay me to learn how to do it, because the waters need to be blessed and they need to be healed, and we need to have this energy going and moving through our work. And offerings, that's another big thing that's super important that I think we need to be very conscious about. So when we're all done with that one though, and starting into early 2020, and this will go for, I'm sure, several years, so it probably applies if you're listening to this in a future time. So then we move into the water bearer. Okay, so we've been the Well Maiden, we've been the young neophyte, the new practitioner who's learning how to do these things, how to start their practice. And so after you finish that, then we move into the water bearer. And this is when we get into cleansing and purification, not only of you and your altar and temple, but of the water space and those that you work with, We do talk about essences, elixirs, and hydrosols. Again, it will just be my voice speaking and telling you a couple suggestions rather than in the 9-month course, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And of course, in the 9-month course, if you don't do it, nothing happens. But that's how it was laid out, was like, here is all the things that you should do. This is going to be a little bit more like, this is what an essence is. This is what a hydrosol is. This is how you can use them. We'll also talk about asperging, anointing, saning, sprinkling, and immersions in that particular course. And that's just lesson 1. Then we move on to grounding, shielding, exploring sacred spring and river, and ocean and lake. And so we talk about the energies there. And again, it's coming from the viewpoint of, I am the priestess. I am here in service to the water and the water spirits. And so my work is in devotion to them in order to bring awareness to this planet. Where the water magic course is very much of, I'm a magical person and I want to be really darn good at all the little things that make up a water witch or priestess. And then the final thing for the Well Maiden is, again, another water alignment. This time it's a ritual. Working with water spirits and finding your aquatic guide. And then I think it'll be late spring, early summer this year when it's released. But again, this may change if you're watching this in a future time. So always check the website. But then we get into the very advanced course in water priestessing. And this is, you get an intro to divination and dowsing, parting the mist and casting circles, becoming the sacred water vessel itself, working with water spirits again, preparing and consecrating the temple, opening your temple. That's stuff that I don't talk about in the water magic course. You don't really learn how to build a temple for others, where in the water priestess course, you're going to learn how to build a temple and hold space for others. So I guess that's a good way to kind of delineate between the two, is the water magic course is very much about developing your skills as a water priestess, water witch, water magician. And it has a heavy connection with folklore and folkloric practices. Whereas the water priestess course is very much about becoming the person that tends the waters and then opening the doors to perhaps doing water circles or full moon rituals at the beach. How do you even start that? Once you or what happens if you've got people that are coming and you don't even know what to do with them? So this is kind of where this is going, and how to work with others. And then the last part for that advanced course, the water priestess advanced course, is finding your niche. Like, there's so many priestesses and there's so many water priestesses. If you're amazing at divination, and someone else is really successful at full moon beach circles, then those might be your niches. One priestess may take to oracular work and find that that's where she wants to do her work from, is from an oracular standpoint, where someone else may be more into community building. And so I help you with some of those things, and we talk about that to kind of help you get started. Then we talk about dressing, blessing, preparing baths, charms, and waters for others. We get into the moon and some lunar mysteries, as well as finally ending with the water priestess dedication ritual. And it says very specifically, water priestess dedication ritual, a path of service. And so the water priestess course is about a path of service to the water, where the water magic course is about expanding your own power, knowledge, intellect, skills, psychic abilities, magical powers within a witchcraft standpoint / priestess. The priestess course is almost 100% priestess with very, very little witchcraft. I also, if you do the water priestess course and you happen to be working with Hecate, you can definitely use her, and she's you can use the spirits that you're working with already in conjunction with this work. If you happen to be working with ascended masters, archangels, or even Jesus, you could do that work here, where the 9-month course is a little bit different. Like, we have a section where you work with Aphrodite, we have a section where you work with the Avalonian energies, and The other difference is there's no supplies for the Water Priestess course, and there are no mentorship sessions for the Water Priestess course. If you want mentorship sessions, you can actually just scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the Water Priestess website, and there is a section where you can book 30 or 60 minutes with me, and then we can have a one-on-one. But those are optional, and you only pay for them if you want or need them, where with the 9-month course, it's a big packaged deal. Okay. Well, I hope that this has helped to clear up some of the information. If you still have questions or are very confused, check out waterwitchcraft.com, enter the site, and click on Learn About Water Magic to find the 9-month Water Magic course. If you're interested in the Water Priestess course, go to waterpriestess.com, enter the site, and watch the videos, and there's a bonus intro video on there for you to watch, as well as the entire curriculum that you can get to know. So and the Water Priestess course, it takes you from free to affordable. And so if you are lower income, it's accessible to you. I also do have, like I said, scholarships for the Water Magic course, as well as I take payment plans. So I'm very open to working with you. If you're feeling this and you're just listening to me talk right now and you're going, yes, this is it, this is what I need, and you can't quite afford the 9-month course, check the Water Priestess course out first. If you still are going, no, I really want that 9-month course, can't quite afford it, let me know, send me an email, and you can apply for the scholarship. I really don't want to turn anybody away, so I'm going to try and make it as accessible as I possibly can, without, of course, losing money myself, because I do have to pay my bills and feed my cats and dogs and kiddo. So anyways, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today and listening to me ramble on about my classes. It's almost 40 minutes. I can't believe that I've taken that long just to describe all the classes that I am teaching. Be on the lookout for more in the future. Who knows what I'll offer. If you're watching this 5 years down the road, who knows? I would definitely check out both websites, because there's probably a ton of brand new information on there. Okay, I'm officially ending the video. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!